come over to start putting in the bed for our vegetable garden. Now, I haven't really been serious about vegetable gardening here since we've been here. I've just not felt that I've had the time to devote to it. But being retired and getting a number of jobs out of the way, I'm hoping that next year I will be able to start putting in a fairly decent garden. So I've been clearing this out in kind of a different sort of way. I've got my grater box on the back there with its 4 tangs lowered down as far as they'll go, and then the box tilted up quite a lot. That allows me to let the tangs dig into the ground, and then I'm using the grappler on the front to help gather up and move aside all the grass that I'm tearing up. So that seems to be working pretty good. You can see I've got a pretty good size of this torn up so far, and it should be a decent size garden. So I'm going to get back to work on this and show you guys how this is being done. So this is just kind of the first pass over to get as much of the grass and rocks out as I can. And then I'll come in with my small rototiller and work the rest of it with that to break it all up the rest of the way. So let's keep pulling this out until I get to the width that I want. Well, there's the first go at it with the rototiller. A lot of rocks, not a surprise, but it's coming along. I need to get some compost manure for it now, and I think I know where to get it. I'm going to try a bit of a trade for some equipment I've got that I no longer need, and hopefully get some decent manure out of the trade. But for now it's time to go in and have a beer. As you can tell, fall is here. So the weather has been pretty wet the last couple of days, and it's been very off and on today, so I haven't been able to get out and do too much. So I thought I'd at least get some of these leaves blown away again. Even though it's damp, it doesn't slow down this giant leaf blower. It works quite well. So, being a person who is a little bit older and with a back that has been abused by many years of doing stuff that I probably shouldn't be doing, and by work in general, I want to add a bit of a lift assist out here in the shop. So I am going to try to hang a 500-pound hoist that I got, rescued it from the scrap. It's an electric hoist. And it will be a bit of a lift assist for me when I need it. So I'm going to hang it from the rafters here without actually hanging it from the rafters, because I don't want to put stress on the roof here. So it's going to be a little bit of a design challenge, but we'll see what we can come up with. All right, let's get to work. So my rail is going to be made from a couple of 2x4s that I'm going to screw together. Because of the shortage of things these days still in the in Home Hardware and Home Depot and places like that, I couldn't get 4x4s. Kind of odd, but they're just not out there yet. It's going to take the lumber mills probably a little bit to catch up because of the COVID issue. Hopefully they will catch up, but considering I'm not looking at lifting a huge amount of weight, a couple of 2x4s put together will be just fine. I'm going to use a big U-bolt to hang the hoist from. That way I can take it up, take it down whenever I want to, quite easily, kind of thing. So let's get the rail assembled and ready to go up into the rafters. With this built, the trick is going to be getting it up into the rafters. So getting something 8 feet long up into these rafters is pretty tight. So now I have to figure out just where I want the hoist to hang. And I think I want to be off center a little bit towards the bench and towards the back of the shop so that I still have this area open, but I've got enough room to pick up something of a fair size to be able to put it on top of the bench. So I think that's a pretty good spot right there. Now I have to start stabilizing it. So what I'm going to do is tie together 1, 2, 3, these 4 2x4s for the rafters going across here, so I have the combined strength of all 4 rather than just one. So we're going to need to start the generator up so I can start using the cutoff saw. So let's get the generator turned on and we'll go from there. So here's a quick little tidbit for you in case you weren't aware of it. When you're using gas from a gas can to fill different things, your lawnmower or whatever, make sure you get a funnel that's got a little screen on the inside of it. That really helps protect from any debris getting down inside your gas tank. If it gets in the gas tank and there isn't a screen further along, it could mess things up for your motor or for your carburetor. The other thing to keep in mind, which I think I have mentioned before, anything with a carburetor on it needs to use high test gas. If you use the regular gasoline, there's just too much ethanol in there and it's going to gum up the ports in the carburetor and eventually you're going to have trouble. So you want to make sure to use just high test gas in anything that you've got that's got a carburetor on it. All right, so I've got the generator fueled up. Let's go get it running. Okay, that's got our rail trapped and these 2x4s all tied together. So that's really rigid back and forth now. I'm going to put a couple more blocks up on top of these 2x4s or 2x3s that I just added to allow for movement of my rail up and down. So we'll cut those and get them up in place. So there's my rail now trapped in place so it can't slide back and forth along the 2x4s, but it's not actually fastened down to the rafters. It's still floating. That's the important part. I'll show you why. That's a 500-pound capacity hoist. So that's lots for what I want in here, but as you can see, that's still putting weight across the joists. So I've got these stands I made up that goes in place under the floating rail. And there we go. My rail is now up off of the joists. So when I lift, I'm not putting any weight on the joists. It's all going through the supports on the two sides down to the floor. The floor is a heavy duty floor. It was built to take the weight of the tractor in here. So this is an easy job for it to hold that. So all I have to do is put my stands in and I'm ready to go. All right, so that's going to be it for today's video. I've got to go do some leaf clearing and get the chipper running again and grind up some more of those branches. Well, we still got some sunshine, and see if I can get some firewood in here for my new fire pit. So, thanks very much for watching, guys. See you out on the trail the next time.